applying a ceramic coating alone. Hi, I'm Ivan, this is DIY Detail, and today we have this beautiful Mitsubishi that's here that needs a ceramic coating. Now, which coating are we putting on it? Very simply, our 3-year ceramic coating. Why the 3-year? This is a car that rarely sees the outside of its garage. It doesn't get driven a lot. And when it gets driven, it's a beautiful sunny day because with over 500 horsepower to the front wheels, not the kind of car you want to be driving in the rain. That being said, it doesn't need the top level coating. It needs a bit of protection, and our 3-year coating will probably last the rest of the lifetime of this vehicle, knowing how well it's cared for. But before we apply coating, we need to prepare the surface. We have washed, we have decontaminated this surface with both iron remover, the decontamination towel, and water spot remover in a video that's linked down in the description. And while you're looking down there, there's the subscribe button. Hit that button too. You'll thank yourself later. From there, we're going to be applying C6 Adhesion Promoter Polish. This vehicle has been polished many times before, and there's actually areas where the paint has been polished through. I don't want to be using an abrasive on this vehicle. The paint is beautiful, it's in great condition. I just want to deep clean it, and that's what I'm doing with the Adhesion Promoter Polish. From there, I'll be applying the 3-year ceramic coating by myself. We've been asked many times, oh yeah, but you guys always work in a team. How do I do it by myself? Today you're going to find out. Using the Adhesion Promoter Polish, I have a small random orbital sander. This is a 5mm stroke, excellent. You can use anything from a 2 to 9mm stroke. You don't want to use a rotary, and you don't want to use anything with larger than a 9mm stroke. It can overactivate some of the ingredients in the app, making it difficult to wipe off and not giving you the deep cleaning you're looking for. I'm using a dry pad, our red jeweling pad. And again, we don't suggest using any other pad than this for the reason of heating, distribution, and how the pad works. From there, I have 3 drops on my polishing pad. I'm going to apply to the surface, and I'm not concerned about the moldings, the glass, or the paint. I'm doing all of it with the Adhesion Promoter Polish. I'm not polishing with this, I'm spreading the Adhesion Promoter Polish over the surface. So I'm not spending a lot of time going over and over and over the same section again. No, you can see I'm speeding through this because I don't need to spend more time than that. This isn't an abrasive in the standard term of a polish. So I can work quickly, get around the vehicle with ease. I don't add any more polish as long as I'm seeing a little trail behind me. And if you look over on the window here, I put the polisher down, we can still see there's more than enough polish on the pad. So I can keep going. You can see on the back window here, my pad is starting to get a little dry. And you'll also notice there's a little darkness on my pad. That's from the moldings. I'm not concerned about that. It's not an issue. And going forward, 2 drops is all I need. There are some areas, like under the spoiler, that I can't get to with the polisher, obviously. But as I'm spreading the polish and taking it off the surface here, I can spread it in under here. That's all you need. The tea tree oil in this formula does a great job prepping the paint for the coating. So I'm taking it from here and moving it underneath here, getting it where I need to go. And of course, don't forget the underside of the spoiler. Now that the upper portion is done, I'm going to go along the lower portion of the vehicle, adding a few more drops to my applicator pad, and we'll get the side done. Right here, you can see we've washed, we've decontaminated, and there's still staining in the paint. This is what the app is for. Since the app is expanding the clear coat just a little bit, and at the same time deep cleaning, that's the result you get. No abrasion necessary, just a very good chemical deep cleaning. This is admittedly quite an expensive tool. They're close to $500. But if you're not doing the app every day, you're not polishing every day, you don't need this. You can actually do it with this, a little random orbital sander. Now, we have the 6-inch pad, which fits on that, but we also have the 5-inch pad that fits on this. Now, yes, maybe a little louder, it may vibrate a little more, but it's still gonna get the job done perfectly well. One thing we get asked a lot is, what if I have a 6-inch pad and I want it on my 5-inch tool? That's way too much overhang. And what happens is the pad will flex up like this. Not that big of a concern, but it'll actually wear a ring into the pad here because of that flex. So always keep your backing plate size the same as your tool size. The little 1/8 around the edge, that's fine, but more than that, not a good idea. The other question we get is, can I apply it by hand? Yes, you can, if you have that sort of time and you want to go to a specialist, have your shoulder looked at afterwards. These cost around $15. They're not an expensive tool. Spend the $15, $20, or maybe $30 to buy a little random orbital sander, or you might even have one at home to do the job. Can it be done by hand? Yes. Should it be done by hand? No. You'll get a better job with this as well. This one has a 2mm stroke. As we say, 2 to 9 millimeters is what you need. And you can see just how easy it is. While going by with the app, I saw that the door handle here, or the inside of it, need a little extra attention. So I'm just going to use some gold standard polish, put a little spray on a microfiber towel, short nap of preference, and just go in here and polish the inside of the door handle. It's a little detail, but one that will be seen by the customer. Follow that up with just a touch of adhesion promoter polish. All nice and clean. 2 last little drops, do the hood, and then wipe it off. Next step, removing the adhesion promoter polish residue, leaving behind pristine, clean, white paint. Something to be said about white paint when it glows like this. The app is very much a replacement for panel prep, but a much better replacement. It's a newer technology, and not only does it deep clean the paint, getting it ready for the ceramic coating, but it also swells it just a little bit. And that swelling is minute. It's not making your paint a 1/4 inch thick. No need to worry. But what it is doing is just opening up the pores a little bit so the coating, instead of going onto the paint, is now going into the paint, making your coating last longer and look better, a little more gloss. And using the app doesn't take any longer than a panel prep, and as far as I'm concerned, is actually a little easier. And the results speak for themselves. All done wiping off the adhesion promoter polish. Now we're ready for the coating. The adhesion promoter polish step is not a long process. It took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get the car done. It's simple, it's fast, it's efficient. It replaces panel prep in a very good way. Next, the 3-year ceramic coating. Applying a ceramic coating yourself is not difficult, you just have to be prepared. I have my 2 towels staged, ready to go. I have my applicator and I have my coating bottle. I'm going to start by putting 8 to 10 drops on my applicator. Always close your coating bottle. That way, you can just put it in your pocket. You don't have to have a little cart or anything around you. From there, I take the coating and I apply it in circular motions, but I'm not boxing the edge like I normally do. I'll always start in the center and spread the coating as far as I can. Because what I'm actually doing is priming the applicator pad. Then I'll take it to the edges of the panel and fill in nice circular motions. Now on a white paint, it's extremely difficult to see. If all you have is white cars, coat a friend's car first that isn't a white car. No, it can be done. You just have to be a little more methodical in what you're doing and making sure that you're coloring outside the lines. You're going past the edges so you know you're getting everything covered. Now I'm looking at it and I can barely see the oil slick on water look. It's very, very minimal, but it's there. With these softbox lights that we have, you can actually see it a little bit. Once I'm sure that I'm ready to go, I take my short nap towel first, and now I'm leveling the coating. I'm not absorbing it off the surface. I'm not taking it off. I'm just spreading those higher spots to lower spots. And once that's done, I take my second towel and go over the surface again. This is my insurance towel, making sure that I got everywhere. It's not a big deal if I overlap on an already coated panel with new coating. It's not an issue. Now, I'll stage my towels again, get them ready, get my ball of coating. But this time I'm only applying 2 drops to my applicator. I don't need to apply 10 ever again. Not on this car, or any car for that matter. 10 is just the beginning, then 2 drops per section. Circular motion, get it spread into the pad, going around, boxing in my area, and I'm actually overlapping past the center where I did last time, and then filling in with circular motions, making sure to get in around. So windshield washer nozzle, looking at the surface, appraising it, making sure that everything is good. Now, humidity in here is a little high today, but not that high. What I'm going to be doing is hopscotching. So I'm leaving that sit for a moment. I'm going to add 2 drops onto my applicator again. Do this half of the roof, including the A-pillar, and then I'll be able to go wipe that section off next. doing the sunroof. So now I have the A-pillar, the roof, and the sunroof done. I'll set my applicator there, go to the hood, grab my leveling towel, and it levels off the way it should. It's feeling smooth and easy, no drag on the towel whatsoever. And I'm not applying any pressure to the towel. Once that's done, I grab my insurance towel. And that is great. Stage my towels again, grab my applicator. Another 2 drops. Then I'll do the hatch. Boxing it in, going past the edges. Of course, lifting up the wiper, getting underneath it, and then getting the wiper arm itself. I'll continue on the hatch and the spoiler, doing this half, making sure to get underneath the spoiler as far as I can reach, then getting the other half there. Same thing on the body, getting down as low as I can and reaching in from the other side. And I'll bring this down just to this line here. That's easy for me to remember. Move my applicator pad there. Now I can grab my towel and level the A-pillar in the roof. Towel staged, ready for the next section. Couple drops on the applicator again. Now, one thing I see people do is let me box this in here. So I'm boxing in the panel, that's great. But then I see people doing tiny, tiny circles like this. That's wasting your time. Go to a larger circle. By doing a larger circle and moving a little slower on the back and forth motion. So as I'm going across, going a little slower, but by making a larger circle, I have less chance of actually missing a spot than those tighter circles. And it's a lot easier on my shoulder as well, making larger motions than smaller motions. Making sure to get the spoiler, top and bottom. The nice thing about this applicator, it's holding on to me, but also I can squeeze it into areas that I can't with normal applicators. And once again, just down to the light there. I'll move my applicator out of the way for the next section, which will be this half of the roof. Grab my towels and level this half of the hatch. Always overlapping, coloring outside the lines as it were. Just following along what I did previously. So going in the same order, the same steps, the same areas. Being careful to get everywhere. I don't want to leave a high spot. They're hard to see in a white car. I'd rather not look for them. I'd rather just make sure they're eliminated before I even start. The adhesion promoter polish does help with that in reducing the probability of high spots, but there's always a chance. There we go. My towels are staged once again for the next section. Applicator, 2 drops, and off I go on the roof. Box it in. Down the A-pillar, making sure to get that molding, and then fill in with circular motions. Body line here, just making sure I'm going down to the bottom of it. Grabbing my leveling towels once again and leveling the section that I did before. So going section at a time like this, hopscotching around, makes it very easy, very manageable too. A lot of people are afraid of coating by themselves. Don't be afraid of it. Coating is actually a very easy process. For many people, it's easier than waxing. So if you've waxed a car before, you have what you need to apply a coating. Now I've done all the upper sections of the vehicle. I'm just going to wait for this to cure a few seconds more because I don't want to be hopscotching up and down off my cart. Once I get down, I'm going to stay down. I'll give it a few more seconds. You can see what the oil slick on water looks like on the glass, and when I level it, how it clears up. So now the upper portions of the vehicle are done. I'm going to do the lower portions, but one thing I want to point out, if you're working outside and you're concerned about pollen or dust, do all your upper surfaces first. Once the coating is on there, even if dust falls on it, it's not an issue, so you don't need to worry about it. And 1 hour after the coating is installed, this car can drive out in the rain or the snow. It doesn't matter. 1 hour is all it needs for the initial cure to make it safe to drive. Before I start on the sides, one last thing about pollen and dust. If you've done the app, and by the time you're ready to apply the coating, you have a slight layer of dust on there, take a fluffy or high nap microfiber towel and lightly go over the surface with no pressure whatsoever. Blow it off if you have a blower, but you don't want to be scrubbing. You don't need to wash again. Just get that off of there, and you can work section by section. Like I did here, if you're in a very dusty environment or lots of pollen, work a section, let it sit for a moment, level it off, clean off the next section, keep going. If you can wait till a day that's not quite as dusty, you may want to do that. I'm right-handed. I like to go this way on the vehicle. That's my own preference. You can go around clockwise, counterclockwise, however you want. But again, we're going to be hopscotching back and forth. So I'm going to be doing this fender, applying it to the fender, applying it to the door, wiping off the fender, applying it to the quarter panel, wiping off the door, just going around the vehicle that way. I'm making sure to overlap down onto the bumper. When I'm boxing it in, over on the door, onto the B-pillar, or A-pillar, sorry, and over on the hood, and then filling in with a nice circular motion. making sure to get everywhere. Adding a couple drops to my applicator. And always put the lid back on. If you spill this over, it's not a fun day. Box in the panel, including the lower molding on the door. Get this mirror while I'm going by here. And then fill in with circular motions. I'm going to go front to back. That way when I wipe off, I can also go front to back. Getting inside the door handle. And getting the extension here in the bottom of the door. And of course, the rocker panel. I have my towels ready to level the front fender. It's leveling beautifully. No resistance to the towel, just a beautiful glide. The way it should be. Overlapping. That insurance towel just spins on the surface. Leave those there. Applying to the rear quarter panel, and I'll come back and level the door. Using body lines to break this up. That way it's easy for me to remember what I've done and I'm not guessing. I have a strategy. I have a way of doing it. We mentioned that this vehicle doesn't really see rain or snow or harsh weather in any way, not even the sun most times. But it's still a great thing to have a ceramic coating on it. The reason you want a ceramic coating is chemical protection, first and foremost. And of course you get that gloss, the ease of cleaning. So when this owner does clean his vehicle, it's going to be easier, it's going to be simpler, and more enjoyable. This rear quarter panel, not quite ready. I'll do the back bumper, stage my towels for the next time. Oops. They don't want to stay on there. Let me move them to a flatter area. For the rear bumper, I'm only going to do half of it because of the intricacy of it and the size. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So my 2 drops on the applicator. And again, boxing it in. Tail light here, working in around the letters, getting into the seam, and then this little line here as well. I'm going to put the applicator into it, making sure I'm getting all the way in, then using a circular motion. Fill in the rest. Nice thing about this applicator, I can fold it, I can get it into cracks and crevices, getting that coating in as far as I can get it. And grab my towels and start working on the quarter panel. I always like my towels folded in 4. That way I have less pressure points. I'm not applying any pressure to the towel. I just want the towel to glide over the surface. I've seen some people have problems with the towels. They're moving the towel along the surface and it tries to roll under itself. You may not have applied coating to that area, or you may have applied too much coating to that area. The other reason for that is you're simply applying too much pressure on the towel. You don't need to apply any pressure. You're literally just gliding it along the surface. You want to make sure to overlap onto all the other areas when you're leveling as much as when you're applying. Fill in the center, and you end up with a nice, glossy, beautiful car. The owner of this car has a good sense of humor. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this has a little north of 500 horsepower going to the front wheels. So as long as he doesn't break traction, Corvettes, Ferraris, they have a problem keeping up to it. It's a very lightweight car with a lot of power. Really, really big turbo. It's a nice little decoration line here. We'll make sure that we're getting in all the way. All this, we got the plate coating. The person who designed that plate surround probably wasn't necessarily thinking of a Mitsubishi Eclipse when they made it. I want to get in and around the letters first, because they're the highest potential of high spots. And then just level that coating everywhere else. Get the rest of the side done. I'll see you when we get to the front bumper. One thing that's very satisfying about detailing in general and applying coatings is the reaction from the paint and how you look at it, but also the reaction of the owner when they pick up the car. That is priceless. With this vehicle, we have all the body work done. I just have to wipe off this one half of the front bumper, then still have the windows to do. Last step is doing the windows. I like keeping the windows until last. What that does for me is I don't need to add necessarily more to my applicator, and I can stand up again, look at the vehicle. It allows me to walk around it while I'm doing the windows. Now the back hatch I already did. Such an expansive glass, and the hatch surround was a little small, so it was logical to do that. But these side windows, I can do them here, look at the rest of the car while I'm there, making sure to get the B-pillar and all of that, the mirror face. When wiping the mirror, I picked up a bit of water, so I'm going to use another towel just to mop up the water. Because what water does is it forces the coating to cure just a little faster. I want to make sure that it wipes clean without any streaks and high spots. There we go. We're safe. Let's go back around, go do the other side. While going around, I looked for high spots, and I'm not putting more on my applicator. On windows, I can squeeze the applicator just a little bit, add some pressure, getting every last drop out of the applicator. Now these foam applicators actually hold less coating than a microfiber applicator, even the ones with plastic in them. Leave that there for the windshield. Let that cross link a little bit. And there it goes, it wipes off beautifully, or I should say levels beautifully. Going outside the lines, making sure that we get everywhere. Now for the windshield, I actually have to put a drop or two on because it's starting to get a little too dry, and I'd rather have more on the windshield than not enough. One other thing that the foam applicator does, it prevents you from putting too much coating on, or it doesn't prevent you, but it helps you. The microfiber applicators, because of the weave of the microfiber, makes it very easy to over-apply a coating. So boxing in and filling in with a circular motion. Wiper arm while I'm there. Now, I level and we're done. When I'm done with my leveling towels and my applicator, they go into my wash bucket where they'll sit for 15 or 20 minutes. Squeeze it out a couple times. That will stop the coating from cross-linking, and when I launder those, they'll be back to normal. Total time, the coating application, for me was just a little under an hour, which means for you, an hour, hour and a half. Budget an afternoon to do this. It's not a difficult job. I've been doing coatings for many, many decades, so it's very easy for me to be quick and know what I'm doing. When you're just starting out, don't be afraid of it. Don't overthink the coating application. You can't screw up. And if you do, it can be fixed, so no need to worry. If you do get a high spot and you see it within a half hour or so, just grab a towel and wipe it off. If it's been an hour or two, grab an applicator, apply a little more coating to that area, and wipe it off. And if it's been a couple days, or weeks, or months, or even a year, and you find a high spot, take a bit of gold standard polish, a microfiber towel, just lightly rub over that area, clean it off, keep watching your progress, and you're not actually removing the coating, you're removing the high spot, which is an excess of coating. From there, very simple. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. And in the meantime, you may want to watch this video right here.